Every Thursday at this time, the voice of the Pittsburgh Panthers, Bill Hillgrove, going to join the program. 50-minute mark on the Fan, brought to you by South Hills Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Route 19 in Peters Township, celebrating 50 years in the South Hills. We've got Pitt sideline reporter Dorin Dickerson. We've got Pitt color analyst Pat Bostick in with us until 9 o'clock. So we've got the entire broadcast team on right now. I'm going to take a step back. Dorin, you take this thing with Mr. Billy Hilly.
Billy, how you doing? Good morning.
Yeah, I should say good morning. Hi, Bill.
How's it going?
We're doing pretty well. We're all juiced up, ready to go, ready to head to Cincinnati tomorrow. Bill, I'll start you here. What's some things that stuck out to you against Kent State? New offense, Cade Bell, some new players, some new names. I know some guys stuck out to you. So what's some things that caught you by surprise from last week's game against Kent State with the Pitt football team?
Well, what caught me by surprise was during one of Desmond Reed's runs, I had my head down. And so when I picked it up, he's halfway through a 40-plus yard run. And it's going to be an adjustment for Pat and myself to, keep our eyes up and watch this high-octane offense. If you get a 300-yard passer and a 100-yard receiver and a 100-yard rusher, I think you've done things well. And I was really pleased. I didn't think it would come together that quickly, but I give Cade Bell a lot of credit that, they're ready. And I like and Pat and I have discussed this, I like the fact that, they don't script things and everybody has to kind of react. And let's face it, the game of football is a game of reaction. So let's see where this goes, because the step this week is up considerably.
Bill, you've seen a lot of freshman quarterback play over your tenure as the play-by-play man for Pitt. This performance by Eli Holstein certainly is up there statistically, but what did you observe from him in stadium that impressed you?
He managed the game. He communicated well, and his passes, he threw a couple off the mark, but by and large, he was very accurate. So, that's very encouraging. And a breakout game for Kenny Johnson. 105 yards on 7 catches and that 46-yarder. It was very rewarding to watch. I think, is that their best output yardage-wise since, 2021? And wow. As I recall, that was a championship season.
Yes, sir.
Billy, when we were doing our post-game interview with Coach Pat Narduzzi, I asked him the question, and I asked him about Desmond Reed and Cade Bell, of them coming from Western Carolina, having a chip on their shoulder to prove that they could both play and call plays at the Division I level and produce at the Division I level. But I should have asked him the question, and I want to get your opinion on it. Does Pat Narduzzi have a chip on his shoulder this year to prove that last year was a fluke? Did you get a sense of that throughout the game on Saturday, that Pat Narduzzi has a little chip on his shoulder?
I've had that sense watching a couple of practices and the scrimmage toward the end of camp. And, there's a sense of urgency there. There's a sense of what you saw last year wasn't us, and we're going to prove it. And I think that's a good thing. And I think the players have bought into it. And, hey, Pat, didn't you love the fact that the tight ends caught 7 passes?
I think I loved it, but Dorin might have liked it more.
Oh, yeah.
Bill.
And I think that's what was absent last year, among other things. And, last year, the offense was so lackluster that it dragged the defense down. And now I see just the opposite happening this year. This offense is going to spark that defense and make them better. They had a lull in the third quarter. The Kent State pushed them around a little bit. But when it came to, winning the football game, that defense did what it had to do.
Bill, is there anything that you didn't get answered from this game? Is there anything that concerns you going into game number 2, apart from just the step up in competition?
Well, I think, and I think it's too early to start judging the O-line because it takes them time to mesh under game conditions. And so I think that's going to happen. You got, 58 starts in that group. And that's a lot of experience, and I think it's necessary. So, I expect, and it's the old coaching adage, you improve the most first to second game. So we'll look for that on Saturday.
Billy, you're no stranger to Cincinnati. You've made many a trip there over the years. Any favorite locales in the other Queen City that you want to head to on Friday night?
Well, I used to go to a jazz spot in Covington called D. Felice Cafe, and it's out of bounds now. It closed permanently about a year ago. So the team is staying in Covington, and I guess I'll have to find a new place to hang out unless I decide to go into Cincinnati. And, in this day of Uber, that's an easy thing to do. The Montgomery Inn, the barbecue there, it's every bit as good as advertised. And that's one of my favorite spots.
Bill, we all know the place to be is wherever you wind up, big guy. Looking forward to your call on Saturday. Thank you so much for coming on. We're really happy to be doing this every week.
H2P.
Thank you, Billy.
There he goes.
Go to Pitt.
Bill Hillgrove.